Hey, I wanted to do another video. Um, Yesterday was again a day where I was thinking I don't want to upload on YouTube again. I know this kind of repeats itself, but the reason for that is that I don't know, I just want to work on my art, and the only thing that feels meaningful to me is my manga. Of course, also my family and friends, the people in my environment, but that's basically it. Uh, I mean, sometimes when I watch certain videos on YouTube, it can be inspiring, watching video essays or stuff. Like, that stuff is interesting to me, that stuff is kind of entertaining to me. But beside that, I don't really have anything in my life. And the only thing where I feel like this is my own life purpose, like, I give that, like, there's so many moments where I just feel miserable, and I just feel like there's, like, I had days where I wake up and, um, like, even, even if I would have a job, or like a task to do, I want to go to work in the future because my life situation is a little bit difficult right now. But even like working and stuff is just to get money. It's not there for myself to have a life purpose. I'm just doing it because, well, you have to do it. It's not like meaningful or anything. And I have days where I wake up and I feel like even the goals I have don't feel like meaningful to me. I just wish I would meet a soulmate, um that I really can connect strongly to one person. I mean, everybody wants that. People want to be in a relationship because they want to be loved by one person. There's one special person. And I'm being quite honest. I think that's the only reasonable thing to me. And I'm getting even farther to say the only thing that makes sense to me in my life that I think really would give me meaning is settle down and ground a family, having children, like that sounds like a fun journey to me, but everything else just feels like meaningless to me. And the problem is, um, it's not that easy to find someone, the right person for me, because I really have um a lot of people just bore me, and it's because I'm such a creative person that people who are not creative as me are just not that interested. Like, not when it comes to friends, but when I would meet a partner or something, I don't want to get into too much details because I'm sharing this online with the internet, but I need someone who is as creative and has as entertaining thoughts as me, because my manga was all my life the most important thing to me. And if I don't meet someone who is that as a creative person, I'm not really invested. So I can't really say what I mean with creative, but someone that is really interesting. And I'm being quite honest, the ideas I have and the thoughts I have when I look the stuff that is existing in this world, I feel like I'm really original. And I know people could think I'm stupid because I mean, I'm just a really small channel. My last video got like 5 clicks, but like, I'm not a famous person, and a lot of people don't really know my thoughts because they're all in my head, because it takes so much time to draw them down, but I have a lot of original ideas, so it's really hard to meet people who are on the same level as myself when it comes to this, who are kind of having unique thoughts and do interesting stuff. So what I realized is, and I don't want people to tell me like, oh, you're gonna find someone and everybody's going to find someone and you're too pessimistic, you know. I'm not saying it will never happen that I find someone and I can ground a family, but I'm being quite honest. I'm really pessimistic about this because I didn't meet a lot of people in my life, but over the years when I met people in my life, I just realized like it's really hard for me to find someone really interesting. I get bored by a lot of people, and then I'm just more invested in my own art. I'm more invested in my own fictional characters because not because they're like better people or something, no, but like my own characters and my own ideas entertain me more than other people sometimes. Not my friends, you know, but in general, when it comes to find a soulmate, you know. And I'm being quite honest. And I think this is not pessimism. I think this is just realism. I probably will end up alone. And I mean, I don't know. Maybe I will meet someone in my life where it's different, you know. But I don't know if it will happen. And actually, I think I'm not the only one. I think a lot of people in our generation will end up alone. Because oh, my neighbor is screaming again. It's just something. No, not everybody will find the love of their life. Like, just be realistic. Some people end up alone. I mean, even in the generation above us, there are a lot of people who get divorced. So it's not like this is an uncommon thing in people's lives. You know, everybody, and I mean that's a good thing. We have a choice of meeting people, but this thing that everybody thinks, I'm gonna find my life partner. I don't think this happens to everyone if you really have standards. And I think it's actually important to have standards. Of course, when you're having a partner, you of course have to notice this is another person, and there are certain compromises you have to do in a relationship when it comes to realizing how to be there for the other partner, you know? That you have to invest in the other person, you know. That stuff makes totally sense to me, and I don't see an issue with it, you know. But you still have to have your standards, because I saw that on social media too, that there's so many people who get into relationships with people they don't even love, but they want to be in a relationship because they don't want to be single. And a lot of people, I think, are in a relationship and they're not happy about it, you know. And I don't want to do this, you know. So I think, yes, you have to do compromises in a relationship, but you shouldn't lower your standard for someone. Like, if this other person is not interesting to you and it's more fun to spend your time alone or with your friends or with your family, then you shouldn't be with this person, you know. And yeah, I'm just someone, like, when it comes to friends, it's like, all right, but a partner is different than a friend. You have this person every day in your life, you know. So yeah, I don't know, I just don't get along with a lot of people. And I don't, as I said, I don't mean with friends in general. I'm a really kind person, you know. But like there's nobody in my life that caught my interest. Never. I never fell in love with someone, and I'm already like 28 years old. I never had a crush on someone, because nobody was interesting to me. And I was like, I had days where I was like, I have to change my attitude, but then I realized I don't want to, because if it doesn't happen, then it shouldn't be, and I think even if people judge you and tell you like, oh, you're picky, I don't, I think you should have your standards. And if you have, I mean, this is the important thing. I have something that gives me meaning and that feels entertaining. It's not like I'm always bored, because I can have fun with my friends, I can have fun with my family, I feel good there. So I have people that give me meaning in my life. And then I also have my manga, and yeah, it's a fictional story. But if my fictional story is more interesting to myself, and a person that could date me is just boring to me, then I think it makes totally sense to not date this person, because think about it. I created those things. It's not about the fictional story itself. I think a human being is more meaningful than a fictional story, but I have the capability to create interesting thoughts as this on paper, you know? So I have to meet someone who is on the same level with that, who is also, I don't mean they accept the same ideas, I mean like someone who is also able to create interesting thoughts in a room, interesting ideas, whatever, as me. If this person is not capable of doing this, if this person is not as creative or entertaining as what I can come up with in my head and have fun with, then I'd rather be my own entertainer. And I know someone to love is not just them to entertain you, but like the person has to be interesting, and the problem is, the more time I spend on my manga and on my passion, the better I get in it, more creative I become, and the harder it becomes for me. The more unoriginal, boring, and uninteresting guys become to me. When I see sometimes what some people post on social media, I'm like, this person is so boring. Why is everybody into this person? I don't understand. But the good thing is, I see sometimes creators on social media, YouTubers, and I noticed this, that are really creative, or it's not even they're like big artists or something, but the way they vocalize themselves in their videos, the way they make their content, those are people where I'm like, those people are interesting to me. And I know I'm not a big YouTuber, but in terms of like what I draw in my manga that I think is really entertaining, the thoughts I have, I can relate to them, And I have moments where I'm like, I probably have to date someone who is doing stuff like YouTube videos, or like an artist, someone who is in the entertainment industry as me. Yeah, probably that, because I see people online who are creating stuff on YouTube. Not everybody, but like there are some people who are really generously funny, and I just look at their content, and I see, and it's not because they have a lot of clicks or something, it's not about that, it's because they are able to entertain a bunch of people. And I know I'm at the start, but I think my stuff is entertaining and it is fun to read. It just takes a lot of time to do. It's different than when you sit. I'm not talking about my YouTube videos. I'm talking about my manga. It just really takes a lot of time to draw it down, But those people seem interesting to me. So I need people who create interesting content, you know? Because I always notice that those people like this are people that I want to talk to. I don't want to talk to someone. I had this, like, I was on dates and I noticed that people that don't are creating creative works or, but I mean, I don't just mean art. I mean like someone who's like, I mean, the best way would be actually someone who is kind of in a YouTube space or in the comic space, you know? Because someone who tries to write comedy and is kind of being a dork and can be funny and tries to find new ways to entertain someone. You know, someone like that, basically, because this is what I do myself in my art. Or, like, doesn't have to be funny, but, like, has to be, like, intelligent. Intelligent to know how to keep people's attention. You know, because the thing is, when you are making video scripts, I don't do them, but as I said, I draw, like, you know, you are realizing how to vocalize yourself, you know? So I just noticed that people online can be more interesting to me than people I meet. You know, I'm not talking about friends, not my friends. My friends are fucking interesting to me. And they're also not social media. Social media personalities. So I realized I probably need someone who is a content creator or something. You know, because this is just because I think my jokes in my story are kind of have this internet humor, you know? And I just think it's not really interesting if someone gets entertained by stuff quickly and they themselves are a really boring person and they just consume stuff but they're not producing stuff themselves. I just think that's not really interesting to me, you know? Especially if this person is not really thinking about what they're consuming. Like they watch a bunch of anime but they're not thinking about it, you know? But as I said, like the stuff with the content creation is just a general thing. I don't mean that the person has to be a content creator. I'm pretty sure there are people who are not on social media, but they're still really interesting people because they're just smart. So basically I'm just a really thoughtful person and I'm just trying a lot of stuff out in my art, so I need someone like this. And of course someone who goes to the gym because I'm also training, I'm working out, and I'm not gonna be with someone who's not invested into sport because this is actually more important than the other stuff because I need someone who is training because dude, it's important for your body, you know, and also eating healthy and stuff. So that's the basic. This is not even an argument, and this is already not that easy when there are people who want to date you and they're like not healthy themselves, and you just tell them like, do you do weight training? And they don't do it, and it's like, nah, just leave. Like, yeah. And I mean, I'm a YouTuber too, a small YouTuber. Yeah, I think people who are invested in exposing themselves to more people, I think are sometimes also another kind of species because they're facing another kind of life. So I kind of can relate to that, even though I'm a small YouTuber. But I mean, in terms of like drawing, it's not just about YouTube, it's also about my art. My art thinks a lot about, like, I think a lot about how can I grasp the viewer's attention? What can I make and create to make something interesting where someone is like, this is really fun to read and this is what a content creator on YouTube does too. You know, this is what you do when you do a video. It's the same thing, even though they're two different kind of creative works. But yeah, so I just noticed guys like this are interesting to me, and that's it. I'm pretty simple. And I mean, if I find someone who shares the same passion, it's, I think, the best for me, because it just makes sense to me, because there's a lot of stuff you can relate to with this person. There's a lot of ideas you can share with this person. You will connect on a certain level where you just understand what the other person is doing. So I think you can have a lot of conversations with the other person then, you know? And I just need that. So yeah, why am I doing a video like this and talk about this? Because I had struggles with my art, because I have days where I'm like, I talk about my passion, but when, like, I want to spend my time in a meaningful way, so I was like, I'm gonna spend my time on my manga, because I think the best way to spend your life is do the stuff you really want to. Of course you have to work, but like the free time you have, make your free time meaningful. Don't search for other people, but instead do something meaningful. Have a go after your hobbies. I think that's the best way. Go after your passion and master it. You know, this is the best thing you can do, and this is good. The problem is, I don't meet new people through my art. And maybe this is why I'm doing YouTube videos, because I feel like maybe I meet interesting people online, you know? I don't know if that will ever happen, because I'm a really small channel. And yeah, I think also, you know, my last video was 1 hour long, and I had a lot of thoughts, and I was just keep talking, and I think it was really interesting. And then I just saw it was just 6 people watching it. And I was looking at it and was like, why did I spend so much time on 1 hour of talking? And just, I mean, it's good that 6 people are interested in it. That made me happy, but it's 6 people. And like, I felt so miserable about it, because I know people tell me you shouldn't look at the numbers, and I understand what you mean. Of course, there's more stuff than numbers, and for me, it's also like that. But still, you're getting sad when you see there's not a lot of people. Like, the more people say it and the more reactions there are, the happier you are. And of course, you have to be careful, because it's also dopamine kicks you get online with the clicks, you know. I'm not talking really about this. I don't really have an issue with this. It's not like I'm looking at every video, I'm like, oh, this video is not performing good, but it's just that I want to see human reaction to it, you know. And if I see a lot of people are not interested in it, I know a lot of people are not clicking on it, it's like, I feel like shit, because I'm like, do I ever will become a famous artist? And yeah, that's just really important to me. I know that sounds stupid, but I mean, it would be more interesting for me to grow in a family. It's not like being a famous artist is the most important thing to me, but as long as I don't have anyone in my life, this is the only thing that is meaningful to me. You know, because I don't think it's a good idea to be like, I'm gonna search for my life partner, you know? I think people just come in your life and you meet them. And I would never go on dating sites, because I was there once, it's fucking toxic. Like, I'm not gonna waste my time with this shit and be depressed. Like, I wanna spend my lifetime in a good way. So I'm like, I'm gonna meet the person I hopefully love through just being the best version of myself. And I don't know if that will ever happen. I'm being honest here, I'm not trying to be pessimistic. I'm not pessimistic, I'm just realistic, because I'm like, it's chances can be you never meet the right person. it just can happen. It just can be that the next 7 years I'm just not really meeting a lot of new people. And it could happen, because I know myself. And I'm not saying it will never happen, but it can happen. I just want to be realistic here, because it pisses me off that everybody's like, oh, everybody's going to meet everybody. No. Like, there's so many people who are in relationships and they're not happy. There's some people who are in lucky relationships. But the thing is, if you really want to get to know new people, you have to have hobbies where you meet new people. And this is the thing, my hobby is not to meet new people, but I don't want to have new hobbies. Get out of here with that, because I don't care about new hobbies. I have my passion and I want to just focus on this passion, because the thing is, if you want to get good on art, you have to do it a lot. And manga takes so much time that I don't want to waste my time on other hobbies. That's just how it is, I know not everybody will get that, but that's just how it is, And like, I know people gonna say like, oh, you could join art groups, but I don't really want to do that, because so I know it's also my own decisions that I don't really meet a lot of new people, but yeah, I'm just accepting it, because I don't want to go into a new art group, because it's not just like, just because you meet other artists means that you will like them, because the thing is, with other artists, like, there are a lot of artists I don't give a fuck about, there are also a lot of artists I like, don't get me wrong, but for me, social media is probably the best place to meet new people, because on social media you can find exactly what you like. And yeah, I don't know. That doesn't mean maybe I find the right people in real life. I already did that, so we don't know. I'm just making assumptions here, But back to the YouTube stuff. So I had like 5 clicks on the last video, and I was like, why am I doing a video of 1 hour long? Like, if someone looks on my channel and they see I make a video that is 1 hour long, and 5 people or like 6 people watched it, they will think I'm a loser, And then I felt myself like a loser. And yeah, I just feel like a loser. And I feel like I'm a really interesting person. And I feel also like I'm kind of standing out from the crowd when I compare my thoughts to other people, especially my creative works. And yeah, I don't know, I'm just sitting there being like, why is nobody watching this? I don't like this, And I just know by everything all people I met, people I saw online, that I'm kind of like an underdog, I'm not like everybody else. And it took me a long time to realize that, but it's just the truth. Especially when I think about the art I'm creating, And I'm gonna tell you, not the people who support me, I'm really thankful for your support. That everybody who just thinks like, oh, she's not interesting, like, you don't know who the fuck you're talking to. And I'm confident with that. I think it shows to be confident to say like, hey, I'm different, I'm special, I'm kind of unique, I kind of stand out. There's something that is, this is interesting, I just want to entertain people. It's not like I want people to have a good time, I want to entertain people. yeah. Um, Now I am, for some reason, motivated again to do YouTube videos. For some reason, I want to do more YouTube videos now. I have mood swings a lot. I have days where I'm like, I'm never gonna go back to YouTube. I just have 5 clicks. Then I have days where I'm like, I'm gonna do YouTube videos, even though manga is my main thing to do. YouTube is still stuff where I'm like, maybe YouTube becomes more important than I thought it would do at the beginning, even though manga is still the most important thing. And then I have days where I'm like, I'm not giving up. I'm gonna convince people that I'm interesting. And I know I don't want to talk anymore. Yeah, this is 30 minutes long. This is 30 minutes long, damn. Yeah, I hope you like this video. Thank you for supporting me. If you want to support me more, subscribe to the channel, like this video, hit subscribe, and follow me on my other social media. And the most important thing, in my bio here on YouTube, I have my manga Stonebreaker on Webtoon. I'm not continuing it on Manga Plus Creators, but on Webtoon. So if you really want to make me happy, click on the Webtoon link and read my story. So yeah, thank you for everything and see you in the next video. Goodbye.